So 2 years ago, the Eagles didn't want to pay that extra $2 million to sign Jeremy Maclin. He winds up going to Kansas City, signs a 5-year, $55 million contract. 2 years later, he's cut. He's gone. That's interesting. So I guess Andy Reid wants to get back to the Damian Douglas and Nate Brown and Torrance Small days. I see. Who they got over there in KC now? You got Albert Wilson, Chris Conley, Tyreek Hill. So I maybe they see Tyreek Hill making a big jump this season. The move saves them $10 million in cap space because it happened after June 1st. But I'm still I'm puzzled by this decision. I know Maclin is coming off a really down year. Only had 500 yards. Actually, let me look it up. Hold on. I'll look it up right now. He had 536 yards coming off a season where he had 1,088 on 87 receptions, 8 touchdowns his first year in Kansas City. Obviously, that last year in Philly, that's when he went off, had his career year, 1,318 yards, 10 touchdowns. So this is surprising to me. Now the thing about the Eagles here, I'm interested to see if there's maybe some bad blood, some repercussions because of what happened 2 years ago. Because obviously, I'd bring back Maclin in a heartbeat. Shit. It's crazy to think 2 years ago you had to spend $55 million on Jeremy Maclin. 2 years later, now you can get him for what? Torrey Smith price? It's crazy. I don't understand what Kansas City is doing. So he's only 29. I don't think Maclin's lost a step. So that's interesting. I don't know what Kansas City's doing. This is weird to me. Now I know Andy is a guy that's always kind of relied on his tight ends and his running backs to get yards on offense. Obviously they got Travis Kelce, but man, that offense needs some weapons. I feel like, and to get rid of Maclin to save up $10 million, what are you gonna do with that $10 million, Andy? I don't think this is a good move, man. It's not a good move. But hey, I don't know. I got a feeling he's not coming here because I think there's probably some bad blood from 2 years ago. Obviously, I'd take him back, but I got a bad feeling that it's not going to happen. So it was Chip. No, Howie Roseman was the one that was doing the contracts, though. They were still negotiating. Chip, there's a misconception about what Chip was doing. Chip wasn't handling the contracts. Chip was handling what players he wanted on the team. And Howie was still doing the contracts. And the reason why I know this is true is because the Byron Maxwell contract looks a lot like the Vinnie Curry contract and it looks a lot like the Lane Johnson contract. So it's all, if we get Mac, release Smith. Marcus Smith should have been released 3 years ago. Marcus Smith, pouting and whining. The reason why he hasn't been released is I guess Howie is desperately trying to trade him. Maybe, again, like I said, maybe you can get a swap of 7th round picks. So, yeah, I don't think Maclin's coming back. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'd love it, shit. Yeah. So Maclin, I always thought Maclin was the better of the two between he and Deshaun Jackson. I thought he was always a better route runner. Better with his feet along the sidelines. He probably wants some. So I missed that. That was a lot of text. Yeah, again, I don't know what Kansas City's doing. I'd take back Maclin in a heartbeat. I just don't know if he'd come back. So that's basically the gist of this. And yeah, obviously, I'm assuming you guys would all take him back in a heartbeat too. So, yeah, I don't know where he'd go. But interesting, man. 2 years. Just 2 years and he's gone. Maybe that'll be you next year, Vinnie Curry. Bye-bye.